Okay, so we have two more basic forms to go. The next one I want to show you is the cylinder. So again, it's kind of like this rectangle, but rectangle is a shape, and we don't want to draw a shape, we want to draw a form. So the cylinder starts with kind of a flat circle. So this is what they call an ellipse, like this. So a cylinder looks like a pop can. And then you're going to draw two lines that are parallel going straight down. And then at the bottom of this form, you're going to create kind of that smiley again, that little curve. It should replicate the top curve. I made this a little bit too curvy. I'll try and fix that there. Okay, so let's say the light is maybe on this side, and maybe it's a little glow bug or something. I've only seen a glow bug once, and its butt lit up like that. Okay, so maybe that's my little glow bug, and the light is over here, and so my core shadow is going to be over here. And remember, I'm using a HB pencil. HB. Cross hatch and make this core shadow darker. I'll show you about a core shadow, why there are core shadows here in a minute. Okay, so take my blending stump that I just cleaned and kind of press down on the core shadow, and then less pressure as I move to the left. And then less pressure as I move to the right, and make sure I lighten up by the time I reach the other side for the highlight. And then on top, it depends on what other things are around, what this might look like, but I'm just going to kind of go from dark on the far end to a little bit lighter towards this end. Okay, and then make the cast shadow. Always create a cast shadow. Unless your thing is floating in the air, your object is floating in the air, there's always going to be some sort of a cast shadow. Okay, so here we go with the background. And then darkening in the back, very, very background. I always like cross hatching. Okay. Wish I could speed through this, but you could definitely like click ahead. Okay, so let's shade that in. And then let's label it cast shadow, core shadow, reflected light, highlight, and this is a cylinder. All right, one last one is the cube. So remember, this is a shape and it is a square. A cube starts out like a square, equal in all angles and all lengths of sides. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to replicate this, the top and the right side, but I'm going to bring it to the top and shift it over. So it's going to be here and here. This is not exactly how you should draw a cube in perspective, but it's a start. Once that is in place, I'm going to go from this point to that point. I'm going to connect it from here to there and connect this from here to here, this corner to that corner, and then this one to that one. And making sure my lines are parallel. I don't want to see wonky lines. So let's imagine the light is coming from over here. And I don't really have any cool light things anymore. So cubes are very different, especially depending on the surface, if they're shiny or furry or whatever. Light is going to react differently. But let's say this is just like a regular cardboard box or something like that. The lightest part is going to be along this edge and maybe along this edge, and then it starts to vary in ways, maybe a little bit, depending on the box again. Like if it's a soft box or a hard box, I don't know. But there's really kind of not a core shadow. Cubes, you're just going to have to observe with your eyeballs where your core shadows are. But I'm going to make the assumption it's over in this corner. And then let's make that a little darker. And then over here, it's going to fade this way. Okay, good enough. And then we're going to take the blending stump and blend it this way and make sure it's lighter as you get towards that corner. And then this is going to fade. I'm not pushing as hard. And notice that I was blending crosswise because the lines were going this way with the pencil. That just makes it smoother. Then here, just really lightly. So that's my cube, and let's put in that cast shadow, the opposite direction of the light, and then put it on a table of some sort. It's way up here now. And then we're going to color in this background, not color in, I'm sorry, darken in. Color and value are very different, and we'll talk about those in the next week. Yeah, blend it out. And then label it. Cast shadow, core shadow, highlight, and there's reflected light all over the place. Reflected light, reflected light. And let me explain to you what reflected light is. Reflected light is when there are multiple objects in the room. You don't exist in a vacuum. There's never anything just by itself. There's always, it's on a floor or on a table or there's something next to it. And when those things have a color to them, the light that reflects off of that object lights up the object next to it. So let's see. For example, here's this, let's take this. Here's this little water tray, and here's my water bottle. If I bring that close to the tray, you can see the white part of the tray start to glow red. So that's light reflecting off of this bottle onto this object. And there's light reflecting from this object onto the bottle, but you can't see it because this is a darker bottle and this is a lighter object. So objects will reflect light on each other all the time. And that's why you have these subtle areas of light. And when you can identify where a reflected light is on an object and you capture that in your drawings are going to look a lot more accurate and a lot more realistic. Okay, so these are your notes. Make sure you got all your notes and label it value, volume, and 4 basic forms. Okay, so take a snapshot of this and then send it to me and I will upload it into the gradebook. All right, thanks.